Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, and thank you for joining me today on Connecting the Dots. We are not on 10 minutes to get more at the moment. So, this is my new mini series within a series called Connecting the Dots, and it's all about bringing you career advice from women in travel and travel tech, but without the rose tinted glasses. So, I'm going to be your first lady today. And this is all based for me on a concept, which I'm just going to share, that you can't connect the dots looking forwards, you can only connect them when you look backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. So often when we hear people giving career advice, it's neatly wrapped up in the paper of hindsight and topped with the bow of the rose-tinted glasses because we know it all worked out in the end for that person that's telling you. So they'll say something like, leave that toxic boss, try something new, don't settle for less, be bold and speak up. And we're connecting the dots backwards because we know how the story ends. But for people that are earlier in their careers, that advice can really feel totally unworkable or too risky or simply irrelevant because they don't know how their dots are going to connect up in the future. So in this series, Connecting the Dots, we'll be looking at those golden nuggets in pivotal career moments when people perhaps thought that everything had gone wrong or they'd made a big mistake. Because from those moments come the best life lessons, the ones that you had to learn the hard way, the things that were really meant for you, but only with the grace of 5 years or more of experience did you understand that and see the good in it. So if we can speed up the learning of those lessons for people earlier in their careers, they'll be able to connect the dots forwards more quickly, build resilience, and have more faith in their careers working out. So if you're here, give me a comment in the chat. Hi, Zoe, morning. Enjoy the little surprises along the way. That is so true, because if we plan everything, actually, we miss out on a lot of the fun surprises. So how could I ask others to talk about some of their career lows and share their own stories vulnerably if I didn't do it myself? So I'm going to follow the same format on myself that will be used on my future guests. And I'm actually feeling a bit nervous about it because I have shared these stories before, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper into how I really felt today. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Emily Edwards. I've been 15 years in the travel industry. So a decade of that was in B2B hotel distribution, then 2 years with a global hotel chain, and now 2 years as a coach and trainer for the travel industry. So the key moment in my career where something felt like it had all gone wrong or a plan didn't work out was actually when I became a people manager for the first time. It was combined with moving to a new country and the merge, which anyone who follows me that's been through the merge will know how difficult that was. And then within 8 months, I also got a new boss. And then a few months after that, COVID hit. So it really was one thing after another. And it kind of felt like 2.5 years of pain and suffering, if I'm really honest. Like, there were obviously, it wasn't terrible all the time, but there was enough of it that was really difficult. It really knocked my confidence. And I think what made this harder was that I thought being a people manager was everything I wanted because I love helping people grow. I love sharing my knowledge and wisdom. I love making things better and improving processes. And I thought that that's what managers did. And I just was quite blind to all of the other stuff that comes along with it that actually I wasn't very good at least at the beginning. So my lowest low, I actually woke myself up in the night by crying. I'm kind of laughing now, but it was really hard. I woke up at 3 a.m. I was crying. I was shaking. My beloved husband was there, like, rubbing my back. And I was just saying, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. They're going to fire me. I'm doing a terrible job. And it made it really tough because I'd always been really good at my jobs and without really putting in too much effort. Sorry. But this job was taking up all of my mental energy, my emotional energy, my physical energy. I was trying to be everything to everyone. I was trying to know everything. I was this special mix of being a bit of a perfectionist and being a bit of a people pleaser and also being really empathetic. So my team's emotions, I was just soaking them up like a sponge. And there were a lot of emotions during the merge. So I would be on a roller coaster of emotions every day. I couldn't manage my time. I had too many people asking me to do too many things. I had way too many emails, way too many meetings. I'd be working until 7 or 8 at night. I'd work every Saturday morning just to try and catch up. So I was exhausted. And mixed in with that, I was in a new country. My visa was dependent on my work, and so was my husband's. So I felt like I couldn't change anything, and I felt totally imprisoned. And honestly, I felt quite embarrassed that I'd always been good at my jobs, and now I suddenly felt I wasn't doing a good job. I felt like I was a disappointment. I was small. I felt small when I was made to feel small by that second boss. I felt quite lost. And if this was the thing I've been working towards all this time and I didn't like it, then what the fuck was I going to do next? I felt really, really lost and confused about what I was going to do. It was a really, really low point. And that drop in my confidence really lasted for a long time as well. It took a long time to get over. So with hindsight, what did that moment teach me, and how long did it take me to realize? It took me a long time to realize. Like I said at the beginning, we can't connect up the dots in the moment. We have to wait and see, which takes a lot of patience. It taught me the value of getting support. So this isn't a pitch, but I worked with a career coach and it honestly changed my life. So coaching is one way that you can get support. And that meant I could really get to know myself, what I am good at, as well as what I'm not so good at or what I don't want to do more of. So rather than trying to fit into this job description that didn't really fit me, I could see my own value and move myself into another job eventually. I also got support from the previous boss, who was a great mentor to me, and I got more support from my peers, from the other managers in the same region. But like I said, it honestly took several years and a lot of work and a lot of really conscious work to understand that and get through it. And honestly, I carried a bit of that trauma, is probably too big a word, obviously, but like I carried it into my next workplace and brought some of the same patterns along with me. So if I could go back to that moment, what advice would I give myself? I would ask for more help sooner. This is such a cliche, but asking for help isn't a weakness, which is absolutely true. It's not a weakness, but it will actually help you feel more connected to people, because more other people will feel like you than you realize. We see everyone else's highlights reel and we see our own messy insides. And when I actually started talking more openly to my peers, to other managers at the same level as me in the region, then I realized more of them felt like me or had felt like me than I realized. Mentorship as well. I can see Zoe saying that. Absolutely. Big fan of mentorship. So I had an informal mentor in my previous boss, and then we got a mentoring scheme within the company, which was also great because I got to see different perspectives, different personalities outside of my immediate reporting line. Because sometimes we can get so tunnel visioned into the reporting line that we're in. We think that is the reality. But actually, when you branch out and have support and insights from different parts of the company, you'll see that everything isn't always like that the same. I'd also say when you've been in your career for 10 years-ish or more, then you are an expert in something and you do have skills unique to you, and you need to know what they are and shine a light on them, because that can help you be more confident in them. We don't tend to know what our strengths are because they come naturally to us, and that's what makes them our strengths. But we just assume that everyone else must be able to see the same things we do or do the same things we do, and that isn't true. So those things that feel mundane to you, that you just get on with and are really good at, are the things you need to be able to shine a light on. And the more you verbalize them and tell other people that that's what you're good at, you're doing your own PR basically, the more that they will see that, and the more that you will value yourself, and the more you can set some boundaries and say, I'm not going to put up with this shit. Sorry, this is not for me. And my last question for my guests on myself is, what qualities, skills, or resources did I need at that time? Patience is one, because looking back, I think I actually needed to go through that to learn what I learned and to get to where I need to be. But in the moment, it felt so all-consuming. It was really, really tough to be patient. So that patience, resilience as well. And for me, resilience is really, really linked to having that support network, how you rest, how you take care of yourself, which I did not do very well in that moment. So having that resilience is what helps you go the long way, the long distance. And to be honest, I needed to stand up for myself more. Like I said, I'm very empathetic. I was always excellent at seeing the other person's position, putting myself in their shoes, giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm also quite good at being objective. So saying, okay, objectively, this target needs to be reached and I didn't reach it, or objectively, this project needs to happen. So I was very good at being objective and empathetic, but I actually wasn't very good at standing up for myself. And it's something I'm still working on. So being a bit more of a warrior for myself and really setting my boundaries and being strong and letting other people know what I'll put up with. So someone said to me during my coaching, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you stand for, like what you put up with. And it's so true. We teach other people how they can treat us. So I really wish, looking back, I'd stood up for myself much earlier on and been bold enough to know that I would have been fine, even if the worst case happened, which it almost never would. So that's my personal story, and I'm really excited. Next week I have Deepshika Segal joining me from Sabre, and I have a lot of other women who are lined up to come onto this show. So I really hope it's helpful for all of you. Definitely drop me a comment, let me know how you found it, and have a wonderful week.